Hello, beloved. It's me, Robin. Robin Hallett, intuitive healer and light sparkler at robinhallett.com. And this is Tea with Robin. On today's episode, if we really want things to change, if we want to evolve in our lives, then it always begins with embracing how we're feeling now, on accepting what is. And how do we do that? Plus, some inspiration on self-care for the caregiver. Some things you might not always be thinking about when it comes to the services you provide to others. And we'll have a beautiful letter from #narcissist-free on recognizing the patterns and beginning again. All this and more. Come grab a cup of yum yum and meet me here. Well, hello, gorgeous soul. It's me, Robin. Welcome back to the podcast, Tea with Robin. This is episode 106. 106 for the win, my friend. And if it's your first time here, hi, it's me, Robin. Welcome aboard. This is an amazing space to be in, and I'm so glad you joined us. And my deep gratitude for you giving this a listen. Friends, right at the top, before I begin, I want to just remind us all that the mountain next door is being built. There's a lot of noises I noticed today. Every time I say that on the podcast, I can barely hear anything, but I still like to say it just in case. Because, what if I'm in the middle of the best nugget of our lives and the guy hits the air compressor 800 times? You just never know. So I'm just letting you know. There's a lot of noises going on. Bless those workers. They're doing a gorgeous job. So welcome back. Welcome back. My friend, how are you doing today? How is the weather in your heart? Always my prayer that you're here, really here. You're staying here with yourself, that you're being gentle and kind, and that you are allowing your day to be your own. The choices and changes you're making and taking and doing are ones you're awake to and conscious of, that you're really being present with yourself. Yeah, so thanks for being here. Over here, the weather in my heart is really good. I am a bachelorette for the next 5 or 6 days. Number one husband is away on his annual Good Guys fishing trip. And, I was super conflicted about him going because, pandemic, etc. But the guys have been talking about this. They've been discussing the COVID situation and whether or not it was comfortable, what they wanted to do, they've just been really working it out for themselves. And after about a month of back and forth discussion, they decided they're all going to go. So they're together. I'm glad they went, and I haven't felt really any concern anymore. I was worried leading up. You know how that is. So he's been doing that trip they've been doing that trip for about 30 years, maybe more. And some of these friends have been friends since junior high, which I think that's so beautiful. Yeah, really sweet. So that's going on. And I have the house to myself. I'm a bachelorette. I am practicing not just filling my day with busy work. Really practicing staying present with myself and enjoying the quiet and the freedom to do what I want and make my own. And I always have that freedom, but when you're a couple, it changes things. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, right? So, yeah. All right. Did you bring some yum yum with you? I've got a whole tray over here, but right now I'm lifting my cup of Earl Grey, stevia, and sea salt to you, beautiful soul. Here's to us, here's to being alive, and here's to being present in the moment now. Cheers. So good. So before I begin today's essay, as I like to call it, I wanted to say, even though this might be a little late, I am thinking about you. This is a time like there's a lot of fires happening in California and the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of, I'm not going to say it perfectly, so I'm going to just say I love you and I'm thinking of you, and be safe. Hang in there. Do what you know you need to be doing. Stay strong. And I'm praying for you all the time. I'm praying for you, and I'm seeing good things coming from this, even though right now it's intense. Also, you mamas and papas sending your kids back to school. Some of you have sent kids to college and they're already coming home. You know, the quarantine stuff has been going and things have been happening. Some of you are going back to work. The campuses where you work said September you have to come back. Just a lot of different things I hear in a day. And I want you to know I'm holding space with you. I'm sending my love. I'm seeing you in that. And you are not alone. You are not forgotten. Transition is a weird thing. There's an energy of transition that is, and change, you know, it's really something. We have been going through this energy for a long time now because of, it began with COVID, obviously. So it's an intense time. Every new move, whether it's a micro move or a big, big thing, you know, like the stuff I just named, it's intense in the body. It's intense on the psyche. It's intense in the emotional body. So please be so very kind and gentle with yourself. Love yourself. Take your time. You know, resist the urge to overdo. Make sure you're taking extra time to rest. It's important. And especially if you feel you can't take the time to rest, that must really mean you need more. You know, so do right by you, okay? The other day I saw a post. I see many posts like this. I like to follow people I want to learn from. And sometimes I end up learning things that I didn't intend to learn. I learn things I didn't like learning. And one of them I've been seeing lately is this statement about the United States. Shame on our country. Shame on this country. And it's really like in response to stuff like Black Lives Matter and our political, lots going on with the politics, and it's all politics, and the medicine stuff going on in the medical world right now. I do not agree. And you know why I don't agree? Shame on our country. What? You and I are here, and we are people with amazing hearts and love. And we show up every day in our hearts, doing what we can, staying present, wishing others well, practicing, remembering who we truly are, remembering the journey. So I wanted to be one person to say that to you today, that if you see stuff like that going around, I know that you and I exist, and all of our friends. We're here doing the work. We're here sharing the love. We're here showing up and doing our best, making the choice to return, to respond with love, to respond with fierce love sometimes, for sure. But, you know, let's stay awake. Let's stay present. And if it feels right for you as well, let's not make those blanket statements or pass those along, because how could it ever be true when we are here as well? I know so many of you right now volunteering. Me too. Every day I do morning magic every day without fail. I haven't missed one. I would never say shame on this country. I mean, I get the sentiment, but I also want to say I see you, and you are doing beautiful things. So keep going. And if you see stuff like that and it makes you feel bad, you know what you need to do, right? Okay, good. All right. Thank you. Just felt like that needed to be said. So friends, today I thought I would talk a little bit about, I wanted to follow up some more. I hope you're liking my follow-ups to the other follow-ups. But the theme today I wanted to talk about is, this brave new world we're in. I'm going to call it a brave new world. Pandemic. So much going on, so much changing. How are we going to find our way? How are we going to navigate our way? Almost everybody I'm connected to, whether it's a little bit or a lot of it, I notice there is a shift. There's an evolution happening, a reveal. There's some way we're all going a little deeper into who am I? What am I doing? What do I want to be doing? And the word, if I sum something up, if I could sum it up, it would be authentic, authenticity and authentic choices, authentic moves. This is something, it's happening all around. I think it's a global energy. It's a personal energy, these authentic moves. And so if you can relate to that at all, it's really important now to learn how to help yourself be present. Help yourself be here in this moment, right now, this moment, and to start to have a sense of who you are. And I say start to have a sense of who you are because we are changing. The world is changing. The movements are changing. Even the weather is changing. Even the seasons are changing. There's so much happening. It reminds me of air travel. Bumpy landings. Do you remember that episode? Bumpy landings. I'll link this stuff up. Anything I say like that, I'll link it up on my website. in the show notes. This will be at robinhallett.com/106. Bumpy landings. It's like when you're on a plane, there's a difference in takeoff and landing and just flying straight. We're never flying straight. Okay, is this analogy going off the rails or what? Anyway, it's a big time of change. Let's just go back to that, okay, shall we? Now is new, and you are new, aren't you? Aren't you? Take a moment and consider all the things that have, all of them in a moment, okay? Just kidding, no. But what's coming to mind for you right now? Like, what has been changing for you in your world lately? One of the things I notice for me is that I've been really acclimating to accepting things as they are without deciding that they're going to be this way forever. And this is a huge shift for me. I've been noticing, I feel so blessed to still have clients and offering healing sessions and rockstar readings. And of course, we're doing our morning magic on Instagram to see how every single one of us is moving through stuff and learning to, for me, really us learning to accept what is without the terror of getting stuck here forever is where it's at. If you want something to change, if we want something to evolve, then we have to embrace how we're feeling and what's going on in order for something to change. In order for the next movement to happen, we have to fully play this one out. Does that make sense? If we are so resistant to what's happening, we get stuck there. We keep giving more energy to this part of us that is resisting it because we don't like it. So acceptance is where it's at. You can even accept that you don't like it. I say it all the time. I don't like it. I accept that I don't like this. I accept that I feel like you know what right now. I accept that I'm mad as heck. That does not sound good, but I like to click the clean button on the Apple Podcasts. If you were on Morning Magic, you know what I'd be saying right now. I'm mad. I accept I'm mad. I accept, I accept it. I can't even tell you. I hope you will try this and let me know what happens for you. It is such a changer. You don't have to like it, but can you accept that you don't like it? Can you accept that you're feeling this way? Can you accept that things are changing? I even think about when COVID began. I've said this several weeks now, and overnight my healing practice ground to a stop. And I got scared for about 3 days. And when I realized the zombie apocalypse really was just a thing in movies, ouch, I said, I accept things are changing. And you know what? The minute I said, I accept that things are changing, I accept that I feel afraid, all this other stuff came rushing in, and I realized I have been waiting to make a change. I have been wanting to make a change, but I wasn't quite aware that something needed to change. I was feeling some of that ho-hum energy that happens when you just cruise along at a comfortable little speed. And I wanted to make a change. And that change is happening and happening and happening. It continues to roll and evolve. And thank goodness I could accept it. I could name it and claim it and accept it and keep going. So if you understand what I'm saying, I hope you will practice this with me. I'm listening to people sharing their experiences, transition, change. The resistance that we feel to things really hangs us up. It really prolongs the process. And so really all we ever need to do is move into acceptance of what is, or non-resistance. If you take something that happened today, something you're upset about or something you're bothered by, or there's a sense of general overwhelm for a lot of us, we could just start with the breath. And say, it's overwhelming. I'm noticing I feel overwhelmed in this moment, or I'm noticing I feel sad in this moment. If you're somebody you had a track you were on before COVID began, you had a plan, you were doing something and things changed overnight for you. Yeah, I'm sad. I'm feeling sad in this moment. I'm feeling sad right now. Hold on to your body when you say it. I had to pause. Hi, I'm back. I had to pause for a minute there because it was like I said, hold on to your body. And now it's 4:44 on the clock at the same time. Hold on to your body. Then all the sirens started coming. Then I could hear the saw blade next door. Accepting what is allows things to change, allows the next movement to come. It helps you get out of your freaking head where you believe you're at the control booth controlling everything and preventing other things from happening. And it allows the natural rhythm of life to take place. And for every friend, I've been watching this happen, especially in business. Something changed and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Surrender your ideas for a bit. Surrender your ideas. Give up your perfect offering. This is something that Leonard Cohen sings about. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. You have to allow that. You have to allow your crack to happen, my friend. Every now and then, I'll have a healing session with somebody where it gets very intense. This very thing is happening that I'm talking about, and it becomes super intense. The perfect offering, this perfect idea, the perfect vision, we're continuing to fight for our vision. We're continuing to fight for our story. You know what I'm saying? We keep, but, because it's hard to let go. I mean, I go to healing sessions too, and it happens to me as well. So sometimes I'm there saying we've got to accept what is. We've got to accept what is. And often what will happen is when somebody is so resistant to change, they will start to attack the person who is trying to help them. Hi, that's me. You have a dog that has ever bit you? I think about Winston, the wonder dog, all the time. He would come to you. Winston was the best example. Let's talk about the dog because I don't want to get in trouble. And the dog can't. The dog won't mind. And that reminds me, Winston, I love that boy. He's been gone a while now. But I wrote a post called Ode to Winston, the Wonder Dog, that deserves a mention because he is adorbs. And that thing, if you need a good cry, go read it. If you're a dog lover or a pet lover, you're going to love it. I'll put it in the show notes. He would come to you like he would have a burr stuck to his head and a burr stuck to his butt, and it would be contorting his posture. These sweet gum tree, they're not just burrs, they're huge, like bigger than a walnut. He would come to you growling and asking for help, but the whole time threatening to bite you if you even so much as, moved the wrong way. And sometimes people are like that who are literally paying me for help. And I am really working on that, and I'm going to pat myself. Hey, I'm patting myself on the back for that. I really want to hang in there sometimes with people because I want them to make it. I want them to come to the other side. I want to help them get free. And I also need to acknowledge I can't fix it for everyone. It's not my job. It's not my job. It isn't. It's not. But I'm doing better with recognizing that when pushback happens, it's not personal. I don't have to take it personally, and the less personally I take it, the faster we're going to move through it. It's the same thing. Like, I'm going to accept that they're pissed at me right now because they don't want to give up their perfect offering. They don't want to give up their version and their vision of what needs to happen. And so sometimes when people start to get upset with me because I'm not holding the perfect vision with them, they can start to attack. They can start to say things to me you know, it's not quite conscious. And so I forgive that. I can. But sometimes I leave carrying it, and then I have to do this work all over again, where you say, you know what? It's all right. I accept in this moment. I accept it. I'm feeling kind of crummy about it. I'm feeling hurt. I accept. I'm angry. I accept. I would like to never speak to this person again, in this moment. It's all right. Could we please have our feelings and allow this movement to happen? I know for a fact I am helping the other person come to clarity without even being with them, because energy, we are energy beings. We are all connected. This is a vibrational universe, so much more than the physical one we think it is. And so if we really want to come to a place of, I don't know, you, again, see your own goals, please. See your own examples, please. Call these things to mind. I think of so many of you I talk to who are like, I want a simpler, easier life. Okay, that's your goal. You don't need to figure out how you're going to make that happen. What you have to do is accept that you want simpler and easier, and allow yourself to move into that space, which means letting go, right? A lot of us are very tight-butted about how things need to be. Let's let go a little more. I talked to somebody so beautiful the other day in a session, and he was saying, why is it that I only allow myself to relax on the weekends when I have lots of other time in the week to do relaxation, but I don't let myself. I make myself sit at the computer from 9 to 5, just like we did before COVID. And the truth is, there's not that much work anymore. And so we were talking about that, and same thing. It got a little tricky because, it feels like, what? You're telling me if I walk away from the computer, the fear is if I walk away from the computer, I'm not going to be okay. Yet the soul is craving a different experience. The body is craving something else. And maybe there's wisdom there. Maybe we need to follow that wisdom instead of holding up our perfect plan. Is this making sense? This world is a big, big place. There's room for you exactly how you want to be, how you want to live, how you want to thrive. Give yourself the permission to live and dream in an intentional way for you, for your life, for your family, for your work, whatever's going on for you. Give yourself permission to intentionally dream in ways that are positive, because, the only place the future exists is in your mind. The only place the past exists is in your mind now. So if you can't, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself, but if you can't be here now and acknowledge what is, it's a lot harder to have the freedom and the space to recognize, I want to make a shift. I want, over and over, I'm visualizing this thing, and I want to allow that to happen. So, this is big, big stuff. I can almost hear some of you saying, yeah, but what do you do when you're so freaked out? You're so afraid, and it's so big, and you're losing sleep, and you don't know what to do. You need to co-conspire with spirit. You need to cooperate with spirit. You need to cohabitate with spirit. It's a process that involves coming out of your tight-butted plan, your ego mind, your fearful self, and saying, help me. And I think you should enunciate the P. Help me. You should, just for kicks. Help me. Because even there, at least then, you're acknowledging you're open to, you need help, and you're open to being helped. How amazing would that be? Sometimes I wish I could speed this process along for people, especially when they're getting mad at me for not agreeing. You know what I'm saying? I would really like that, but we can all just say we're going to cooperate with spirit. Isn't that fun? Cooperate, cohabitate, collaborate. There's a divine one in you that comes from the beyond. Probably chose the life you're in before you were even born in this body. That's who I'm talking about. I can't help it if you don't believe that. You know, like there's a one in you that is so wise and so connected. Let yourself, if you're in intense resistance and total freak out and you can't see any way free, at least remember to say, help me. And never forget, I'm here, you know, offering sessions. I am there every day on Morning Magic for free. And you can come in every day. I say, if there's anything I can help you with today, anything I can shine a light, come. So you got to have some boldness, you know, to share there. But come. There's help for you. There's love for you. There's assistance for you. So I hope this has been helpful today. You know, I really do. And also, I'm going to completely accept in this moment, it might not be right for everyone. And that's fine too. That's the beauty of this message today. It's so relaxing if I don't have to worry about pleasing everyone. What's that song? It's all right now. I learned my lesson well. Do 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 do. So that's the part I remember. Do 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 do. You see, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. It's such important advice. Ricky Nelson. I love it. I'm reading because I had to look it up to finish singing the lyrics to you. It's hilarious because it's so on point to what we're talking about today. And that's always how my high sense perception works. The fancy word for your psychic knowings, your intuition. It's always relevant. And that too, trust your hunches. Because at the bottom here, the line says, oh, what the hell? I'll just read you the whole thing. I went to a garden party to reminisce with my old friends, a chance to share old memories and play our songs again. When I got to the garden party, they all knew my name. No one recognized me. I didn't look the same. But it's all right now. I learned my lesson well. You see, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. People came from miles around. Everyone was there. Yoko brought her walrus. There was magic in the air. And over in the corner, much to my surprise, Mr. Hughes hid in Dylan's shoes, wearing his disguise. But it's all right now. I learned my lesson well. You see, you can't please everyone, so you gotta please yourself. I played them all the old songs, thought that's why they came. No one heard the music. We didn't look the same. I said hello to Mary Lou. She belongs to me. When I sang a song about a honky-tonk, it was time to leave. But it's all right now. I learned my lesson well. You see, you can't please everyone, so you gotta please yourself. Someone opened up a closet door and out stepped Johnny B. Good, playing guitar like a ringing a bell and looking like he should. If you gotta play at garden parties, I wish you a lot of luck. But if memories were all I sang, I'd rather drive a truck. It's all right now. I learned my lesson well. You see, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. Beautiful. You know, when I was in high school, I took a class called The Poetry of Music with Mr. Lion Trainer. No joke. Hersey High School, Arlington Heights, Illinois. So I always love that. And I'm going to put a link to an article in the show notes, just in case anyone is interested like me. You know, what was the song about? I think the gist is pretty good, but there is a link there if you go to robinhallett.com/106. So, hope you love this essay. I know I did, and it feels super true, so let's leave it there. Friends, I feel like the inspiration section of our podcast is going to evolve. I'm not sure why or how or what. So I guess I just want to give myself permission on the air to say something might be changing here with this format. I care about you knowing that going along as well. I was thinking a bit about self-care, because what do you do on the days when, I was thinking about the other day, it actually was a bother for a few hours that somebody was kind of peeved with me, and we hung up, and I knew, you know how you know they're mad at you, and you know that also that's where they are. Some of you who have kids so know this place, don't you? Kids get mad at you. They feel like they can say whatever they want. Sometimes things go down that way. People say they're mad at you, and like, you're not their parent. They're paying you, and it still feels like crap. And so I practice self-care in those moments, and I practice permission to know how I feel. And one of the things that really has been helping me, and this might not sound nice, but I feel like somebody needs to hear this today, and so I'm going to share it. You, as the person offering stuff, like I'm offering this podcast, I offer healing sessions, you offer what you offer. If you're online offering your Instagram posts or your Facebook posts, or you're at school offering things in the school classroom, or you know what I'm saying, you're offering, think about what you do in a day. That means you have the right to consider whether or not you want to continue the relationship with whatever it is you're doing. I'm thinking of friends who volunteer, and sometimes things get very heavy. There are friends I help who are Facebook moderators, and when this pandemic began, and then the Black Lives Matter movement began, and then in the States anyway, the politics stuff started going down. People were losing sleep over a volunteer position moderating a Facebook group, which absolutely, there are many of us who understand you if that's your experience. We get it, because we're answering comments all the time for free. And people expect, they expect a certain level of service, even though they're not paying for anything. I so get it. Lots of us understand with you if you can relate to this example. So here's what I say. Here's the inspiration this week. You have a right to decide whether or not you want to continue, and you have a right to decide. You have a right to decide if you want to continue doing what you're doing. If you want to continue working with that person, if you want to finish out your time with them and then discontinue, you have a right to decide. And I don't think there's enough support for us out there. You have a right to decide. If you have a platform and you're sharing things online, you have a right to decide if you want to keep doing that or not. If it stops being fun for you, whatever it is, just know that you have a right to decide. And I hope for anyone who needed to hear that, you have a right to decide. I hope that it helped you today. It certainly helps me. And, I love that reminder. It's your way, your life, your way. You have permission. Okay? That kind of rhymed. Yeah. So, let's have some more tea. Yes. Ooh, but no, let's have some iced coffee. I have that here too. So good. It's funny. Speaking of you have the right to decide. This week, Jeff and I, that's number one husband, we went out on a little errand together, and where did we go? We went to Tuesday Morning. It's so funny. I was there looking. I still don't love being in the store. And I know I probably don't sound very courageous or bold, but it is what it is. For some reason, it's just uncomfortable for me, and I am accepting that. And it's okay. Like, I don't need to figure it all out. What I need to do is be with myself and how I feel, But we were there in our masks, looking at things. I was looking for any end-of-season umbrellas because there's this huge mountain being built next door, and privacy will be something I enjoy in the summer months again next year. So I was thinking umbrellas would be so nice to open and have privacy. So Tuesday morning. Anyway, long story short, I'm in the store, and did you find what you were looking for? No, but I got some new glasses. They are so cute, and they were $4 for a pack of 4. And we came home and I washed them, and Jeff said, oh my goodness, now we have to get rid of some glasses because our cabinet is small, and how many glasses do 2 people need? And it was so funny because that practice right there came into play. It's your life and you get to do what you want. But the guilty feelings started to come because we received some really fancy, expensive glasses that for a wedding gift. When we got married, we didn't register or anything like that. It's not really our style. And besides, it was a second. Okay, I'm not going to say all of this, I hope, on the podcast, Robin. But we got some really fancy Waterford crystal glasses. And when I use them, they're pretty, but I don't really like them. And it's so funny. So Jeff said, okay, we got to make room. And I was like, I know the glasses. Let's turn them into candle holders. So here on my altar, I've got the old Waterford crystal with a floating candle in it. And it is perfect and so much more to my liking. What can I say? It's Robbie Sabi for the win. And then I've got my little $1 drink glass here. So cheers. Maybe somebody else wanted to hear that story. Sometimes you just got to go with what you're feeling and trust in that as well. So today's letter, I have a letter today, is in response to a letter I wrote to the Love Posse end of July called True Blue to You. And it was a letter about loyalty. The false bonds of loyalty we have where we take care of everybody else instead of ourselves. Where we carry and worry about things that we really shouldn't. And I felt like since I've been talking about this whole episode, I would take I actually got several, sometimes I get like 12 responses to one letter. And I love that because it really helps me know it matters to you. It's an important topic, not just to me. I write these letters, I sit down and ask Spirit. Sometimes they're topical, sometimes it's stuff I'm going through, and every week it's something fresh. I never really plan them out. This would drive me bonkers to have a content calendar. I can't do it. So I just sit down, just like the podcast. Sometimes you just see who you are and you have to accept it. This is how it is. So, and you're welcome to join the Love Posse. If you don't already get my letters on Wednesdays, I'll put a link in the show notes, or you just go to robinhallett.com/subscribe. So, this letter I wrote, it felt really important because I think a lot of us are going through this thing where loyalty, what does loyalty mean to you, and where is it costing you? Where you're offering your loyalty in places where it doesn't feel right. And I was just talking to you about that in the inspiration. Like sometimes you realize the way you're serving your community, or like me with clients, sometimes it's not okay. And I need to reassess how I look at loyalty. So let me read you this letter. This goes out to you, Debbie. Dear Robin, what a blessing you are to me. A gentle, much-needed reminder of who I am. I'm working on so many things, and one is your topic in this email. I'm so worried about others, their needs, their feelings, that I myself get lost. I often have to listen to replays on Morning Magic because I'm unable to be there live, but today I caught a piece of the one where you mentioned narcissism in relationship. Just another confirmation on why I was led to you on the week I left my narcissistic alcoholic husband of 38 years, who I love so much. But also learning, is that truly love feelings? We've had no contact since March 1st, and the pandemic hit 1 week later. So I moved in with my mother and sister, and there are so many new changes and things coming up for healing. But you, my friend, are a big part of my journey, and I say thank you, and I love you and who you are. Debbie. Wow. First of all, I am standing with you right now, looking you eye to eye. Debbie, and anyone else this relates for, well done. Well done. Sometimes the hardest thing is to leave, to actually leave. And there are friends I help in session, friends I've walked with for a long time who have still not left. And there is no judgment on that. I tell you what, your journey is your own, and it takes as long as it takes. It takes as long as it takes. So I do want to say that, but also congratulations, and wow, you did it. You did it. Every single day for the rest of your life, if you look in the mirror at least once and you say you did it, it would really be so helpful. You are so spot on when you say, my narcissistic alcoholic husband of 38 years, who I love so much, but also learning, is that truly love feelings? I have been doing so much work in my own journey about trauma bonds, the bonds of trauma. I really love the work of Gabor Mate. If you want to look him up, I'll put something in the show notes around addiction and trauma and connection, and also the work of Melody Beatty, who's been around a long time, one of our founding mamas of the codependent, narcissistic, alcoholic awakening movement. I'll just say, it is so hard. I know a lot of us are raising our hands and nodding along right now with this conversation because it is so hard. And it's so hard because we grew up in an energy, and 38 years of marriage is certainly growing up, but also before that, there may have been some energy where this is a constant. This is a norm. This is an experience we're used to and uncomfortably comfortable with. So it feels like home. I have to slow myself down here. And I just spilled coffee all down the front of my shirt. Sometimes I'm saying things to you and it's just, it's an answer to my own prayer too. So you may find yourself with people where you're breaking up, where you're leaving, where you're knowing this is not healthy for me. This is not healthy for me. This friendship I'm in, this connection with my kids, or this connection with my parents or my spouse or whatever it is, my boss. A lot of you end up with these connections again at work. It's not right for me and I need to go. This is when you got to hold on to your heart and start some mirror work. I talk about this a lot at Morning Magic. I talk about it a lot here. You have to look into your own eyes and help yourself wake up. Keep telling yourself what you need to hear. What do you need to hear, Debbie? And anyone else this is connecting for? What do we need to hear? You know the perfect words. Say them to yourself, please. You need to do it because there will always be, I think of Mary Oliver's poem, The Journey. You knew what you had to do. It was already late enough. And you had to leave. Though the melancholy voices shouted their bad advice. Mend my life, each voice cried. Mend my life. Stay. Don't go. There are people in your life who are like, oh, really? That bothers you? They question you in a way that makes you feel like what you're doing is wrong. But you must have solidarity with your own heart now. Look into your own eyes now. Connect with yourself now. Listen to me. It's your own voice. I'm just a channel for what's really alive in you, the divine in you. So, there are so many new challenges and things coming up for your healing. And it's okay to be confused about things. It's okay to miss somebody every single day for the rest of your life, Debbie. It's okay. And to still know it's not right for us to be together. You can miss them every single day. Me, right now, I feel super blessed to be with number one husband. I don't mean just like right now in this moment, because I'm going through this in friendships, though, sorting out the hairy, ugly truth about some of the relationships I've been in, some of the ways I've granted friends access to my heart who just, it's not right. And it is tricky. It is tricky. It is, it's confusing. It's swirling because, there's this swirling sensation because they feel like home. Even in my memory, they still feel like home. But I never want to come here and say bad things about people. So just know that I've really been working on that, seeing the light in everyone. It's really been a very long journey. And I believe so much that we still help free the people, even once they've passed on. We help them on the other side, as we sometimes call it. I want to free my mother. I want to free my father. I do. And I know I'm doing that work. And I grew up, I can remember being pinched in my crib. You know what I'm saying? I can remember being made fun of. I can remember being tickled and not being able to do anything about it. And it wasn't funny and it wasn't fun. And so some of those friends that I'm talking about who feel like home are the ones who do those things. In one way or another, it might not be, if you're following along with me and you want to help yourself, it won't be the exact same thing. It'll feel, though, like you're there all over again. It'll feel like you're fighting so hard to be okay, even though you know you're not. You're just in there trying to save face. You're in there trying to show your best smile anyway, to let people think they didn't get to you. I tell you what, those kinds of fights are not worth winning. We are too precious. We are too beautiful. We are too sacred. And so, Debbie, I'm right in the middle of something where I know there are people hanging on the other end wondering where the hell I went. What happened? Why did I go? And they're trying to talk me back in all the language they know how. Their love language is not exactly loving, so they're trying to convince me. And like I say, then you have people in your circle who are also like, what was the problem? You should call. They need your help. You should call them, So you got to look yourself in your own eyes and love yourself and hug yourself. And you moved in with your mom and your sister, and I hope that is a beautiful space. There is more, always more for healing, but there's always more light and beauty we can receive as well. Always more moments of love and joy as well. And what I know of you in the time I've spent with you in our connection, you're a resilient soul, and this is part of what you signed up to experience so that you could help free the world. And so, like the song I was reading a little while ago, may you learn your lesson well. May it not be a punishment to you, but a blessing, and keep walking on this journey. Keep holding my hand. We're flying wing to wing, my friend. And you and me and so many others in this posse, we're hanging in there together. This is the place where we get it. And there is the love that heals. So thank you so much for writing in, and thanks for sharing this. And, if nobody has said it to you today, I'm proud of you. Let me be the first. I am so proud of you. Well done. Well done. Beautiful. And thank you for, like I always say, when you write me back and then I ask you for permission to read it on the podcast, you didn't write knowing that was coming, and I appreciate you so much being willing. Thank you. So friends, if you'd like me to read a letter, my email is hello@robinhallett.com, or message me on Instagram or Facebook. Do that. Always happy to help. And along the lines of happy to help, I have an interesting, exciting, new thingy I wanted to share with you. And I waited to the end because those of you who listen faithfully, every single week, all the way through, sometimes more than once, I wanted to share this for you. I am looking for a few friends who would like to come on the podcast with me. I'm looking for a few friends who want to come on the podcast with me and do some healing together. You are somebody who is going through something. You are open and willing to have a dialogue out in the open about what's going on and to discuss what's happening for you and to receive some love. And one, it's my way to keep offering the love that heals. Two, it's my, I'm looking for ways to offer more light for free in this time. And three, I love shaking things up. And this is the answer that came through from Spirit very clearly, is to start occasionally having people on to talk about healing. And to be clear, you're coming to receive. You're not here to teach or sell your soap. We got enough of that going on, and that's what your platform's for. This is about healing. So if you're listening and you want to do it, send me a note. Okay? All right. Well, friends, that wraps, I hope, what is an amazing session. I gotta say, I am really loving myself these days, proud of myself these days. I feel like you all help me so much. This love is real. And those of us who let it in, who receive it, who ride in it, we know it. It's amazing, the changes. Whoa, baby, whoa. So, yeah, over here, it's Sunday now. And it's so funny because I know at the top of this hour, I said, number one husband left on the fishing trip, and now it's Sunday and he's coming home in about 2 hours. He'll be home. So it's so cool. I'm gonna really relish the next few hours and look forward to seeing him again. And whatever we end up doing, something special probably, it's going to be great. So I hope you have a wonderful day, whatever day it is while you're listening, and, that you'll come back and see me next week or in a few minutes. It's been me, Robin, Heart Sparkler, Awesome Sauce. Take good care of you, Hallett, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Life is very short, let's make the very most of it. You are a precious gem and I love you. Do 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 do. We are here to shine and shine bright. You are a gem and I love you. Do 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 do. Life is precious and you are a spark of the divine. So shine like you know it, rock it like you mean it, 'cause you really, really mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it. Don't let crispy people tell you that you aren't sparkly, 'cause you are, 'cause you are, 'cause you are. Thank you. I like that. I love it, honey. Thank you. Give me a kiss. Thanks.